Hey guys, I'm Captain Spoiler Warning. This one's gonna be spoilers in this one. Just saying. I'm Captain Foley, though.
And I'm Commander Cockings ahead on this video. So it's Captain Foley spoiler warning, Commander Cockings ahead in this video. There you go. We warned you. Like a team. And he didn't... We've got another topic today. Episode 6 came out. We're discussing it. We like doing little sub-videos about little things. And we're our own people. And some things just happen to strike out to us. And we want to discuss them. You know, we do the big live, we do the small review, but sometimes you can have a 10-minute discussion on a little thing. And this little thing, I would consider a plot hole, I'll be honest. It didn't necessarily piss me off as some of the plot holes, but this one I feel like is a real, like, what happens to it?
I totally agree. I totally agree 100%. But before we get into it, where's the kid?
Did you have him beam? Did you? EMH, where are you?
The emergency transporter.
Yeah, ETH.
Operator hologram.
Actually, that's a great little explanation.
The ETOH.
You call it the ETH to help him.
Elnor somehow manages to beam onto the Borg cube to help up Picard and get within a good distance to Picard. And how did he do that exactly? Because earlier in the episode, it's got to be pointed out that Rio says they're not giving us permission to land, but they are giving us a small transporter window for you, which means they had to open up a section of their force field or shielding, whatever, to allow Picard to beam in. And then later, Elnor is just magically over there, and we still don't know whether Girardi helped him or not. Whether she beamed him or he decided to beam himself, which he wouldn't know how to do necessarily. Anyway, so there's a lot of questions to be asked here, and you know, I don't want people saying, "Well, you're nitpicking." There's this stuff. It's a storytelling contrivance in all story plots. And
but it's
like,
one of the major leads theoretically. Like, you know, if Neelix was suddenly in DS9, you would be fair to ask how. You know, some things need an answer.
I just beamed from Voyager. It's fine.
Using a Circarian
trajectory, yeah.
Watch that video. No, and it gets more intricate than that because it is a two-step problem. First, how did the character get off the ship? You assume beam. That's one sort of situation. The second is the cube itself is harder than you even led on because yes, you have to be given a window, but without that window, there's going to be shields, scanners. It's a very heavily fortified, very secure place when we've heard in previous episodes that people's access to it is incredibly limited, such that they could be rejected access and then regained at a moment's notice. It's very Romulan, they're going to be very security conscious. Add on to that, he would have to know where Picard was, which seems unlikely because the scanning wouldn't be able to scan through the ship, shields, or defense grid. And normally in Trek, you can detect a detailed scan, and they would be like, why are you scanning us? That's weird. Add on to that, they go to the Queen's private chamber, which Q says is a secret location, is a hidden secret location.
Oh, you would assume that the special Queen's hidden chamber escape room is heavily shielded, or at least specially shielded, so that it can't be detected. Because it's the way Q talks about it is like none of the Romulans are aware that it's there, and they've been on this ship for 14 years, so.
Yeah, well, not just that, but we in this exact episode, we hear that Darge's life signs are being hidden by the Romulans in their zone, and is that based on where they're going? Is it already shielded? Are they doing an active dampening field? Either way, things can be hidden. So, and although, to be fair, the Romulans do find Picard, so you'd assume maybe they could detect him, but you would assume it's shielded in some way, otherwise they'd find it. So all these things put together... How did he know where he was? How did he beam to him? How did he beam through shields? How did he not be detected? How was it not alerts? All these levels. And the crew on board the La Serena did not hear any of this go on. You would hear a beam in a quiet, I'm waiting, I'm tense. It's not quiet. It's not quiet. And you put it all together, it feels a little bit disingenuous. I'll give him semi-credit for we said there might be a plot hole of this episode where Maddox was killed, or at least let to die, and how they explain that. They did keep in the plot hole of the MH. Some people said she might be able to reprogram him, but her skill set isn't actually AI. It's mechanical. It's not quite. You could leap, but it's not 1-to-1. But she did get away with it, and they sort of explained it. So maybe they'll explain Elnor. Maybe Hugh will say, "How did you get on board?" And they'll say something. But I get the sense this is just we needed Elnor in the scenes with Hugh because he'll be funny as a counter to the Romulans. Because I assumed, I think you assumed too in the scene, that he would go with Picard to protect him, as is his role, and would be more useful to protect Picard, as is his sworn role, when he leaves the cube than after he's left the cube to stop people from chasing him in a room that's now been shut down and stopped.
The ending doesn't work. The ending would make more sense for him to actually follow Picard and Soji to the planet, because now he's got not only Picard but also Soji, so he's actually got more of a responsibility, even though Picard tries to release him from his vow, and he's like, I don't choose to be released. It's like, well, just come with us. Hugh's going to stay here regardless. Why are you staying again? Oh, there was no valid reason for him to stay. But
as we said in our review, that he's just going to get shot by a disruptor.
It's the Indiana Jones scene. Choose to live, my friends. Boom.
You know what I mean? It's a really... it comes out of left field. It really does. And it's just odd. I don't know why it's there. Except, I think, in next episode, maybe he'll help Hugh escape. Maybe that's kind of why we need Hugh later in the season. And Hugh is maybe not... I wouldn't associate him with a tactical, fighty person.
Well, the problem there is, too, you gotta remember, Elnor is absolute candor. That's how he was raised, to tell the truth. So if he gets captured by the Romulans and starts getting asked a lot of questions, that's gonna prove interesting.
I like that. That's how they find Picard. Because Elnor tells them without really realising what he's doing. Okay, I like that. Because the Quat Malat are the sworn enemies of the Tal Shiar for some reason, despite them being a mini cult of knife wielders on one planet versus an intergalactic army of secret operatives of spaceships and technology that has ruled for whatever. So I guess that's going to play in. We're going to get to those scenes because now we need, I guess, some people on the cube to talk to because they built those sets. But it doesn't really work, the ending, and it would have been fine for him just to leave. You didn't need anything else.
And a lot of people have assumed that based on where's the kid and the pan over to Girardi, who's like, that she helped him, which makes sense. She learned how to do the transporters last episode, whatever. So she's good at the transporters now.
And she now has weird motivations that we can't really know.
So it would make sense that he helped her or she helped him. But I never got that sense when I watched it. I was like, he figured out a way to do it on his own somehow.
I'm stretching here. Because that's kind of what we try and make these things work, because we've got to, because they happen. What if, after killing Maddox, and again, bear with me here, that she communicated with the people on board the cube, because she is now complicitly acting with the interests of O, maybe not with directly, but with interest. So maybe she was given a heads up of who to contact. She contacted them. They gave her access to give him access so that they could have him killed, so that then that'd be one less person to deal with.
Lieutenant Rizzo is on board the cube. She works for Commander O. Commander O gave Agnes a mind meld, so it makes sense that Agnes might be able to contact Rizzo, who's now the Romulan sister lady. Anyway, that might work.
Because then they'd have a way of getting in just access codes.
It's interesting. Like, did the Romulans find them as a result of hunting down Elnor?
Oh,
because if so, that makes a little bit of sense. Have this unauthorized beam-in happen, so they trace it, they follow him, they find out where this room is, because at the end, the door is just closing as the Romulans come around the corner, and he says, choose to live, and then it closes.
That would work, except then you've got to say, how did Elnor and Gerard know where to beam? Because they hadn't contacted Picard. He didn't even explain what he was doing, he said, meet me there. I guess you could say he signaled and they triangulated the signal, but then so could the Romulans and they could beam in. Like, if you could beam Elnor next to it from an outside ship, of course you could beam the Romulans into the ship. And there's no reason to let Daj go. This is completely off plan. It's not like they're trying to get like this is... Thank you, Soji. There's no plot here, or letting Picard go. So I think that's why I said, unless they wanted Elnor on the cube, because then they could either kill Elnor or get information out of him as a reserve. Because again, if you just kill his crew, then have less people to work with, because they've obviously sworn their life to him. So just getting rid of them is useful. That's still really weird, because then just capture Picard. I mean, just don't be... Why is this all part of the weird subplan?
It feels like a writing thing, like, oh, Elnor is here now. That won't need to be explained at all.
Well, he beamed in. How? Shut up. Because people can just beam places. It's like, yes, they can, but there's all these levels of complexity to this. Now, it might just be, as with many things, can you beam through shields? No, except when you can. Can you fire at warp? No, except when you can. Phases at warp. So, I mean, that's... But again, those things were wrong too. Just because the old Trek made a mistake doesn't mean you can make it now. You're meant to be better than that because you've got right at the writing in 2019 for 2020. And if you can say that, then why can't you use their old canon? Why can't you use, you know, if you want to use their old mistakes, why not use their old good things? Doesn't quite all connect. But yeah, we just want to talk this through, guys. And I think we have at least an idea or two, which is kind of nice. But it does feel like a legitimate plot hole just to get him on the cube for the next episode, for plot.
What do you guys think about this? How did he get on the cube? Do you have any theories? Did it bother you at all? Let me know. Let us know down in the comments, obviously. And we look forward to actually hearing your thoughts. And as always, guys, like the video, subscribe to the channel, click the notification icon, and make sure you join the channel if you can. It's kind of like the YouTube equivalent of Patreon. You can come to the rank of Commander, Captain, or Admiral and get some cool bonus features and goodies as a result. So sign up if you can, join, and see you in the future.
Yeah, and of course, Patreon, if you can. Great way to support the channel as well. If you don't want to do it via YouTube, just helps us out continue to do this show, this channel, on a monthly basis and hopefully a yearly basis, but it's kind of up to you guys. Or use the links down below for the merch, for the other websites, for all the things. Just have a look. It's like a buffet of what you can do with it. Ego Moss or shirts. It's all there. And of course, join our lives every single week. We love our full, big, massive breakdowns of Picard. They are some highlights of our week. They're huge, but they are very, very in-depth and balanced. That's kind of our thing. Or at least we think. We hope it's our thing. We do try. So tune in for another video. And until then, I'm Commander Coggins.
And I'm Captain Foley.
And Elnor will be beaming in somewhere, somehow, at some point. He always
Hopefully.
does. Yeah.
Yeah. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Oh, hi, Elnor. He's here.
Ow! I don't get it.